All right, what's going on, everybody? Isaac Fleischer here, and welcome to another iHoopsFL interview. Now, before I begin, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at iHoopsFL. I post all these interviews, all the best clips from any of the interviews that I've done. Whether it's online here on YouTube or even in person, you can find all the highlights and all the best clips from those interviews on my Instagram at iHoopsFL. And for you guys, maybe want to see any of the other work that I've done around the world of basketball, you could also find any of the articles I've written for a company down here in South Florida on my Twitter at iHoopsRecruits. So again, iHoopsFL for interview stuff, Twitter at iHoopsRecruits for articles. But anyways, let me bring on our guest right now. What's good, my guy? How you been?
How you doing? I'm doing all right.
I'm doing pretty well, man. Everything was straight over there in California, right?
Yeah, it's all right. It's a little shut down with COVID, but we're figuring it out. So, yep.
Yeah, for sure. Is it cold over there? Like, does it get cold?
I mean, it's pretty good every once in a while, but it's normally some nice weather, so I like it out here.
All right. Like is it like super hot? Like, I mean, I live in South Florida, so it's like always hot. I don't know. I don't know really what it's like over there.
It's definitely not Florida. I would say it's not really humid. But it can heat up at times. I mean, right now it's a little chilly, but it's not bad.
I bet. Well, anyways, scrolling through Instagram, I saw that it looks like you went to Rolling Loud in 2019. So how was that?
It was something really cool. I went with a couple of my high school friends, and I think it's big, especially for basketball players to, stay grounded. And I think my friends helped me with that. And I really just want to, obviously you got to be professional in this sport, but sometimes you just want to have fun and be a kid. And going out with my friends to that was super awesome. So yeah.
At least for myself, I mean, I'm fortunate enough. The Rolling Loud's in Miami. I mean, pretty much I think every year it's been. But I'm like too scared to even ask my parents, like, can I go? Just because I feel like, at least like for myself personally, I think I'd like die if I went to Rolling Loud. Like I feel like I wouldn't be able to handle it. I mean, just what was the whole atmosphere like? You think like a lot of kids, because I was a freshman last time I was there, because last year was canceled, and these kids in my math class, like they all went, and I'm like, how'd you not like get hurt? Like I'd be scared for my life if I was there that young. So.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, you definitely got to prepare mentally. It gets hot when you're in there with a bunch of people, and what people don't realize is when you want to leave, it's not that easy, because if you get into the front, you got to go through all those people to get through to the back. I definitely would not recommend it for maybe freshmen. Definitely not under that, because it gets rowdy for sure. I mean, it definitely gets really physical in those mosh pits, so you definitely got to be ready for it.
Yeah, and you mentioned the mosh pits. I mean, talk like that. Even at least my interpretation of a mosh pit, like before I've seen like a video of Rolling Loud, I thought a mosh pit was something completely like different. Like I mean, some of that stuff it looks like dangerous, like hardcore dangerous. I mean, talk about that a little bit more too.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, funny story. One of my friends, he showed up with ankle braces on. Because people just start tripping and stuff, and they don't want to get hurt. But definitely, I mean, you go to like your little like middle school or high school like dances or whatever, and you have like a little mosh pit. It's nothing compared to Rolling Loud. Rolling Loud, you got big guys just pushing around, shoving around, and you really got to be into it and into the music to love it. But I mean, I loved it. It was one of the best weekends I've had probably in my life. So I thought it was really fun. So yeah.
And what would you maybe say is your favorite the favorite person you saw over there?
Polo G was pretty cool. I went over there to Polo G. Lil Skies was insane. That was probably the craziest mosh pit. And then Thug and Uzi came on together at the end. Thug didn't make his time, and then he came back for Uzi. So they both performed at it was the last day, and it was the last performance. So that one was definitely, I would say that one was definitely my favorite.
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember my 8th grade self, listening to Lil Skies. I mean, I pretty much haven't listened to him since. What made that one so crazy? Like, I think if I was there, because like I never knew, but it's like where the stages, like it's different people at the same time. Like it's hard to pick. And I remember I was looking at like Lil Skies, my favorite person in 8th grade. How was him since I'm like, I picked someone else over him. I mean, what made his set so crazy?
I mean, it's crazy because it's all about the music and the people, and people know Lil Sky's songs, like a lot of them are really catchy. A lot of them have gone viral, and a lot of them, it's like a big hit. So once you get music like Lil Sky has that's pumping in the bass and stuff, and then you have people that know the words to it, that's when it really gets crazy. Is when everyone knows the words to the song and the beat is going crazy. I would say that's what really makes a crazy mosh pit.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's not even. I wouldn't even say he's at big time like right now, to be honest. And not even back then. When I was like 2019. I mean, he hasn't like fell off or anything like that. But I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm kind of surprised you said that. Like, was that one? Were there like a ton of people at that one, or were there not as much people?
There were. I don't know. I think Skies is pretty big in the Bay. I mean, it's definitely Skies is definitely really big where I am, like my high school and stuff. Uh, I don't know. It's catchy music, and I think just the fact that it's all of it. It's sometimes a lot of it's like the same backdrop or the same beat, but they're all the beats are really hard. So you're gonna get in there, and as long as the beat is pumping, it'll definitely create a mosh.
Yeah, because at least over here where I live, I mean, I'm telling you right now, in eighth grade, I mean, that's what we were all listening to, and then I mean that was pretty much the end of it. I think I know one person that like still listens to him. That's pretty much it. So I guess yeah, maybe like a whole California kind of thing, but I mean that a Lil Uzi performance, I saw his Miami. I watched like the live stream when he was in Miami. I mean that
Yeah.
was unbelievable. And did he leak any of the Eternal Take songs when you saw him?
He didn't, but they did one with it was right after that the album came out with like Hot and Surf and all those songs
Oh
in
yeah.
it.
Oh, so they did What's the Move? I'm assuming.
Yep, so they did all those and that was crazy cuz like I think only like it was cool cuz only like the real ones knew it, like it really had came out a month before. So if you were really into Thug, you would get it, and if you're really into Uzi, you would get it, but if not, then like you wouldn't really. So for me, I mean, I listened to those guys a lot. So I knew most of the songs, so it was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, the one I just feel like for some reason I can never really learn the words of like a rap song unless it's like Juice World, like Rod Wave, or Trippie Red. I mean, I can't really figure out what they're saying. Like, I don't know. I always mess like I think I know what they're saying, and then like if I look at the lyrics, I'm like that was not what they were saying. So it's always
No,
I think I'd be terrified if I had to like say the words of a song. Like I'd just be like, yeah, I just give up because I don't want to embarrass myself and say like everything that I think they're saying when they're not saying it. You know?
no, definitely, and I think that's one of the great things about Rolling Loud is you can yell damn near anything, and and everyone's yelling, so you're not really if you fuck up on or if you mess up. Sorry about that. If you mess up on a word, no one's gonna call you out for it, because everyone's just doing their own thing. Really, it's so loud in there that you really can't hear people 5 feet away from you. Almost, it's crazy.
And I want to know because I mean the plan obviously I mean this coronavirus stuff it looks like it go on forever, but the plan is my senior year. Like obviously should have too much stuff to do. Like I'm going to Rolling Loud and it's in the area, so I'll be able to. How do you figure out like who's set to go to? I feel like sometimes like it's like three good people that I all listen to. I mean, how are you able to figure out like I'm gonna go here, then go there? Maybe like maybe with logistics, like we maybe need to stay over the back over here, and then kind of lose our spot for this. Like, how are you able to figure out where to go and why, or do you just stick at one stage the whole time?
I mean, I definitely did some moving around. It was tough. The Polo G was the toughest one. There was Polo, I think there was 21 and Trippy, and then I think they were all at the same time. And I went with Polo. I don't know. I've been a big Polo fan, and I've kind of been listening to Polo for a long time now. But it definitely can get tricky. There's an app, a Rolling Loud app, where you can see all the stages and you can see who's performing at what time. So you kind of map it out before about where you want to be, and then you just kind of hustle over to from one stage to the other to make sure you get up in the front. So yeah.
Yeah, for that three, I would definitely pick. I mean, Polo G I think is good, but I don't like listen to him too much. 21 Savage, my personal opinion, I thought the album sucked. The way I describe it is the beats were good and he ruined them all. That's my opinion for the new album. And then Tribute Red, I would definitely been there for sure, 100%. I want you to give me before we continue on to the more basketball stuff. I also want to know, give me your 5 favorite rappers. I don't need an order unless you have one.
I'm definitely have to put Uzi in there. I think you definitely have to. I think Drake is the GOAT because he can do so many different things. Like he's not just a rapper. He also can, he can sing and do some other stuff.
Yeah,
But
and Spanish too.
I'll put so Uzi, Drake. I'm a big Lil Baby guy, so I go Lil Baby. I'm definitely with Gunna, so I'd put Gunna in there. And then for my fifth one, that's tough. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of guys, like 21, like you said. I thought 21's album was okay. Like I like 21 more before the album than after the album. A lot of guys, they kind of fall off, or they don't, or they produce something that's not great. Um, so someone that's super solid, I would say I would go a little bit older and go with maybe like J. Cole. I
Oh,
like J.
yeah.
Cole. J. Cole has some really good stuff that you can just like listen to. So I'll throw J. Cole in there for now. I don't have an official list, but right now off the top of my head, I'd give those five guys the edge.
Yeah, that's like kind of similar to mine. I would say definitely Uzi and Baby in there for sure. I mean, I've listened to both of them since I got into rap music, so definitely them. And that's been like not like a year ago, like, for a while, ever since middle school. So definitely them too. Then I put in Juice WRLD in there. Then I guess Rod Wave, and then my five varies from Trippie Redd, J. Cole, Meek Mill, and I guess Gunna. That's what my five varies from.
Let me I'm not gonna change anything, but let me just throw in Meek, and let me throw in Pop Smoke into the equation for.
Okay, yeah, I like Pop Smoke, but I like all respect to him. He's not. I was like I wouldn't say I was a big fan of his, but I mean I'm the DJ for my school's basketball games. Like I think I put my whole school on him. Like I don't think many people knew who he was just because of the way my school is, and I knew who he was. I'm playing him for my whole the whole school to hear pretty much. So I feel like I put the school on him, but. Yeah, but I wouldn't put him in my top five just because some of the stuff like it's all the same. I feel like.
I was gonna say, yeah, it definitely is. I just think the beats are so hard. But I definitely, a lot of the songs, they sound very, very similar, I would say. But I think he's just different. Like I think that the stuff he does isn't, you can't really like relate it. Like some of the Gunna Lil Baby stuff, it's not the same, but it's
Yeah.
like kind of in the same league. Like I don't think there's really anyone that did anything like close to what Pop Smoke did in terms of like he was just different.
Well, I mean, actually, like, there's what's the guy's name? Like the Fivo foreign guy. I think he's kind of similar. It's like a New York kind of thing.
No, yeah, definitely. It definitely is a New York type of thing.
Yeah, but then I think Gunna and Baby. I'm not gonna say like they're completely different, but I think they're kind of different in a way too. Like I guess Gunna's beat. I saw someone say like his beats are like exotic. If you think about it, and
No
then
doubt.
Baby's more like he's almost like a mixture between like just a hardcore like old school rapper and then like new school in a way.
I can definitely agree. I definitely agree with the exotic beats from Gunna. And Gunna definitely throws out some beats. He'll throw in some instruments in there that like I don't know what he throws in sometimes, like some electric guitars. I
Yeah,
feel like a violin or something. He throws in some stuff in there, but he makes it works out. So yeah.
yeah, stuff is definitely crazy. Are you able to drive it all or no?
Am I able to drive? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, do you have your license and all that stuff?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm 17.
Yeah, I mean that's the best. Having when I got like my license in a car, I mean like I've never knew like just driving with your own music on, like just blast. I mean that's honestly like the best thing ever. Like I don't care if I could drive, like I like driving because I just play whatever I want. Like I'm alone. Oh man, I don't care.
No doubt. You can ask anyone. I show up late a lot of times to hang out with friends or being home, because I'll show up and I'll sit in my car for another 10 minutes and just listen to my own music. I don't know, something about it being in the car and you controlling it is, I don't know, I love it. I love it for sure.
Yeah, and I like how I don't know if like you make your music this loud, but sometimes I'm driving and I look at the not what's the side mirror called again? Whatever the side mirror is, and like I could see it, and it's like shaking the mirror. I'm like, oh my, like this is the best.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I definitely know what you're talking about, and I agree. There's nothing like listening to your own music in the car.
Yeah, who I forgot to throw in the top five for my like fifth spot debate? It was Future. I think he could be in there.
I think Future definitely can. I was bigger fan of Future earlier on, but I definitely think Future is definitely different. I like what Future brings to the table, so I could definitely see it in the top five. Yeah.
For sure. Well, anyways, moving on to the more basketball stuff. I mean, you talk about music all day. You can also talk about basketball all day. How'd you get the opportunity to be in an Under Armour commercial? I think it glitched. On a second. See if he remembers to refresh. If not, I'll just DM him right now. Oh, yep. Yep, I think he's got it. Unless that's my fault, but we'll find out. Oh, shoot, that's weird. Oh, yeah, I think it's glitched for a second. You're all good. Oh, wait. Talk again? Wait, just refresh your page again, because like I can't really hear you at all. I'll just remove this. Actually, wait. Say something again.
Oh wait, it's already refreshing. Can you hear me?
Oh no, it seems good now.
All right, I think it's about to refresh. Hold up, let me see.
All right, you're all good.
You're good. Just give me 1 second. I can't
All
tell.
right.
Like the blue bar is like half loaded.
Yeah. I mean, I guess let's see how long we could go. But anyways, the first I guess basketball question I have is, how'd you get the opportunity to be in an Under Armour commercial?
That was thanks to Ryan Silver. He runs West Coast Elite Basketball, which is the team I play for. And he just said they were looking for someone to do it. And I said, like, you know what? Like, he asked me if I wanted to do it. I said, of course. You don't get the opportunity every day to be in a commercial. And it was really cool. I'd show up over to like some of my friends' house or something, and they'd be like, "Yo, we just saw you on TV," and I'll be like, "Oh man, like that's crazy." So it was definitely an insane experience. Something that you literally dream of.
Oh, there's the refresh. All right, he'll be back here in 1 second, guys. Hold on. All right, there you go.
There we go.
All right.
I think.
Yeah. You're good now. It just refreshed.
All good. All good.
All right. I guess do you want to just continue on what you're saying, or want me to re-ask the question again, or?
Either way, whatever works. I don't mind.
All right. I'll just ask the question again. Okay. So, anyways, how'd you get the opportunity to be in an Under Armour commercial?
That was all thanks to Ryan Silver. He's the director of West Coast Elite, and that's the team I play for. And basically, he just told me, he said, like, they're looking for someone to do this commercial. Are you interested? And I was like, of course. You don't get that opportunity every day. And it was really crazy. I went on set. They had all these smoke machines. They had a bunch of different people talking. You meet like the directors, and they're kind of just like the movies. They're a little quirky, but they're like really smart in their own way. And they were telling me about all these different things I should do. And it was definitely crazy when I got back home and I'd be going over to my friends' houses and seeing myself on the TV. And they'd be telling me that they just saw me, and I'd just be like in shock, and it's something you dream of as a kid. So to really actually finally do it was something that, I wouldn't say it was a goal, but it was definitely a dream of mine that came true.
Yeah, I guess either were you maybe, or like a bucket list item maybe. So you
Yeah,
were.
something like.
Man, this thing is glitching a ton. Hold on, guys. Missed them out. Wait, hold on. Are you able to hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Oh, kinda.
Oh, okay. That was weird. Just like pause for a second. I don't know, but anyways, but I don't know if you could share this. But did you get paid for being in the commercial?
I did not, but they did give me a bunch of gear. So no recruiting violations, but I did get a bunch of gear. So that was really cool. I got a bunch of different shoes and, just a bunch of Under Armour stuff, which is real nice. So yeah.
Just out of curiosity, like why would that be a recruiting violation if you were in a commercial and they paid you? Like what if you were an actor and they like you were paid to be in a commercial? I mean, why would that end up being a recruiting violation?
It's something about the fact that it's a shoe company that's paying you. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure that you're not allowed to get paid by a shoe company. But I'm not positive. I know like I just know from example, like when the dude Brian something committed to Louisville and he got cars, it was
Oh yeah.
Adidas that paid. So it's something like that where the shoe company cannot pay you.
Okay, and I think at least like the clip I saw, like I don't think you need to memorize any lines, but did you feel like a lot of pressure? Is because I know you were like dribbling a little bit. Like, what if the ball roll off your foot? Like, were you like super nervous to try to like get it first try and all that stuff?
Uh Honestly, I thought I was going to be, and then I don't know, it kind of just like, it was just basketball for me. So, and it was interesting, like they wanted me it was like a quarantine thing. So at first like they wanted me to like miss shots on purpose. So that was kind of weird, like they wanted me to like stretch and like maybe lose the ball a couple times and miss some shots. So that was a little weird for me. I've never really been asked to purposely miss. But other than that, I thought it was just really good experience, and I don't think there was very much pressure at all.
For sure. And how was last year's season?
Uh, Last year's season was tough. Not in the sense we did really well. It was it was one of our best seasons we've had in history. So my freshman year, we went to state and we won state, which was the first time in school history. And then my sophomore year, we went into our open division playoffs. Uh, and then we lost, and then we went into state playoffs, and we were in Division One, and we went and we beat De La Salle, which is that picture behind you, to move on to the state playoff game. And the day before the state playoff game, it all got canceled because of coronavirus. And that was something that was really tough for the team and for myself. My brother was on my team, so that was really tough for me to send him out on that note. It was tough. We were all looking at our phones during class, and we saw the news, and it was really just devastating. Like we all were really just like crying because it was just like you put in all that work, and for it to end like that is just something. We told everyone. I've told everyone I'd rather play that state championship game and lose than not get a chance to play. I feel like there's just something about knowing it's your last game, that I would have liked to have. Like giving it all out for that. So yeah.
Yeah, but I guess at the same time, like at least you ended on a win. Like it could have definitely been worse. Not like
No,
I guess the state championship game is different, but at least it was a win, like a big time win and all that stuff. I think there was definitely it's not that bad. At least for you, like you're kind of lucky how you still got like a couple years left. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, it's not like it was just something that it's probably. I don't know about the other guys on the team, but for me, it'll be a what if for a while now, and it'll be everyone's been at. You think you would have won, or you think this would have happened, and it's all kind of just a what if. Everyone can give their takes on who would have won or what would have happened, but no one will really ever know. But I think that it's good because I think that's gonna fire ourselves up. We had four seniors that graduated, but one of them was in the starting five, uh, which was my brother. So I think we're getting back pretty much the same team, and I think that we're fueled for this season, which I think will be shown, and I think it will benefit us because we're going for another state ring. So yeah.
And I don't know if you do view this the same way, but I remember I spoke to an IMG coach. He was telling me, he was like, yeah, so our goal for the season was, and this was, like I started interviewing like, I don't know, like May. So, this is current 2020. He said, our goal for our season is, we want to be defending national championships. There wasn't one. So we're still technically the defending champions. So mentality too, like if you guys win, it's like, we're back-to-back defending champions, or do you think it's almost like a restart kind of thing?
Oh, the way I look at it is, I think we're back to back. I think we're back to back right now. That's the way me personally, with my confidence, I think that's the way that we are. So in my mind, we're going for three. And we got rings. It wasn't the same, but we got rings. So I went into high school with the goal of leaving with 4 rings, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm 2 up, 2 down, and I got 2 more to go. So I definitely would say that in the mindset of it, I'm looking at it as a 3-peat. So yeah.
Yeah. So wait, so you guys got rings, and you're telling me like, you didn't like get anything out of the like state championship or anything like that, and you guys ended up getting rings for all that?
Yeah, so we did, yeah, because we were NorCal champions or something, and it was like, and then the CIF like proclaimed it as co-state champions, something like that. So our school like decided that we would get rings for it. I don't know, it wasn't like we decided, but as far as I'm concerned, I call us back-to-back state champions. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got rings. I mean, technically, yeah, you are, but then the other school is like also, I guess, the defending champions. I mean, it's not bad. I thought, it was like just season's done, canceled. I didn't even know you guys got rings like coach, like state champions. I mean, that's pretty good. I have to admit, like they definitely did a good job, handling the whole scenario. I think, because I don't know if every state kind of did something like that, but that was definitely a good idea on their part for sure.
For sure, yeah.
And you mentioned this a little bit, but what is it like, competing with your big brother, who, is also an extremely talented prospect as well?
Uh, you know, um, you don't really realize it, I think, while you're in the moment. Uh, the first moment I really started realizing it was the second to last game of the season. And I realized we were playing a really good team. We had lost to who we had never beaten since our head coach got there, since my brother got there. Called Salesian, really good. They went down the year before and won Chick-fil-A. They're a really good team. Had high level Division 1 guys on that team. And we were down at halftime, and it was at halftime that I realized, like, this really could be it. And that was something that, I really, I really cherished looking back on it. I don't really wish I would have done anything differently. I just wish I would have known that, that was the last season. Um, but definitely that was something that that was important to me, that I wanted to send him out with a ring. And I was really close with the other seniors as well. But playing with him, I mean, you learn so much stuff. That's a Division 1 point guard. Uh, so you learn different small things about the game that you may not have thought of, or me coming in as a freshman and him already being a 3-year varsity player was something that was really helpful for me. Him adjusting me to the physicality, or adjusting me to different schemes and defenses and plays, and how you should do 2-for-1s or stuff like that. Just really small things that really, like, that Division 1 point guard should know and should have. He was able to show me those.
And when you do come back home, I'm assuming you guys do live in the same house, something like that. Do you guys talk about, the game or practice, or is it almost like, school, we talk about basketball, and then at home, it's like we're, one of us doesn't even play basketball, and we just both live completely separate lives. Like what happens, after a big game? I mean, is that what you guys talk about all night, and like, break down stuff, or is it, just completely different lives?
I think it depends. There are definitely times where we talk about it a lot. I mean, I call him pretty regularly, and we'll talk about, just how my season's going, how his season's going. And we definitely do talk a lot about, like, lineups, or if this play would have worked, or stuff like that. But I think there's also just a good balance of, just like us being like really close and being friends, and we'll talk about stuff off the court, or hang out with friends together or whatever, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a mix between the two.
And how does it feel, having yourself be named the number one player in Northern California?
Uh, it's something that you definitely notice. But I also think that it's something that doesn't mean a whole lot. I think everyone gets really consumed in rankings, and I don't really, I rankings just recently. I think that I've said this before, but I think really just since my junior year started, or since COVID started, rankings really just haven't really meant anything to me at all. I see them and I'm just like, I'm better than some of these guys, but it is what it is. It's a number. When you get to college, it doesn't matter. When you get to if you try to go to the pros, it doesn't matter what you were ranked in high school. And I think really as my college recruitment process started to get going, that's when I really started to realize, like, yeah, like, rankings are cool, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to back them up every night. And it also, you just have to be able to play basketball. The number can't score points for you. The number can't rebound for you, get steals, win games for you. That's what the player does. So ranking, the number one ranking is great. And I think I've been able to keep it now for a couple years, which is something that, I want to be able to do. I want to assert myself as the best player in California, the best player. I want to be asserted as a top 20 player in the country. But it is something that, it's nice to look at, and, know that some people are taking notice of what you're doing.
And at the same time, I mean, I thought you were going to say like the rankings is a number, and then you said your recruitment. So I thought for sure you're going to mention the offers. I mean, I said this before, like it's not the rankings that matter, but like it is those offers. Those offers do matter. I think. I mean, as long as you have one, like that kind of almost sets you up for a lot more. So I think the offers that matters. People say, no offers, like I'm going to make it. I mean, no offers, like bro, like there's like you're about to,
Yeah, exactly.
not that way.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, every serious basketball player, their goal is to make it to the pros, or to the next level. And you're not making it to the pros by not going to college, and you need offers to do that. So I
Well,
definitely,
it's not like it's you have to go Division 1, and people say, like, oh, Damian Lillard or Russell Westbrook, all these guys went Division 1. So
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I just think like, offers college coaches can sort out the BS, I guess. I think that rankings and highlight tapes kind of just mess up people's vision of people. And college coaches, I mean, they're the ones that are getting paid for coaching players. Those are the people that can really sort it out. And I think you see that with recruiting. And I think sometimes recruiting shows more than ranking does by what schools are looking at you. Not that I really mind about any of that, but I think that's definitely a better telling sign than rankings.
yeah, definitely. But also, I mean, the people making the rankings, they're being paid to make those too. So they obviously, like somewhat what they're talking about. But in the end, like when you do go to college, like the rankings don't matter. But I mean, being ranked, at least in terms of your recruitment, like that does help a lot. But yeah, once you go to college, if you're ranked, 100th, like number 99, number 100, it's not going to be a big difference between the two. Like there's probably going to be a ton of things switched around. Like I'm sure if someone remade the rankings of, let's say like the 2016 Classic, I'm sure they're going to be different because a lot of the guys make it anyways.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, I think it's kind of similar to draft night. That's kind of the way I've kind of
Yeah.
like about it. You get Isaiah Thomas, who was picked 60th in the draft, and he's better than more than half, if not almost all of those guys in that draft. You get guys like Tyler Hero, who's picked late, and he goes out and performs. So I kind of think of it as that is, you start out with the base number, and from there, you just have to do the work and put in the work and play. That's all it is. So yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think Tyler Hero, he was not. I think what picked that? I'm a Heat fan too. I think that like the third, I want to say 13th pick, but I don't think it was. But that's that's not a late pick. So, I mean, I think it's a lottery pick. So
yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like just making it to the NBA. I mean, again, there's 60 guys, and like 22-4-7, whatever they rank like 150, like 250 guys. So I mean, like a very small percentage of those ranked guys that are some of the best basketball players in the nation, probably in the world. At least for the age group, like majority of them aren't going to make it. So it's just unbelievable how it all plays out.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And I've seen a couple of your posts. I think you did the hashtag like Wolfware or something like that. I know that's Issa Silva's little thing he is going on. So how have you been able to build a relationship with some of those top guys in your state, like Issa Silva, for example?
I think it just happens through camps, through tournaments. You hear about different guys from different places. I've actually, I've played against Issa for a really long time now. My brother's played against Issa, so I've seen him grow up. And then I think it was that Ball is Life camp where we really just started talking a lot. And now we're good friends. We'll talk sometimes. And I know he's doing his thing at Prolific right now. But I mean, it happens with a lot of top hoopers. Is you're around them in the same teams or the same tournaments, and you kind of just it's something that you can talk about, and from there you just build off it.
And being in California, I mean, obviously, the basketball there is it's already good. It doesn't really matter like what school you go to exactly. But you mentioned Prolific Prep. It's just going to school, plays an even more national schedule. That's something that's been on your mind of a move you might make, even at some point this season or next season, possibly.
I mean, I've always been someone that's been open to everything. This is the same for, because a lot of colleges, a lot of those East Coast schools, they say, well, are you willing to go out here? Like a lot of West Coast kids want to stay Coast, or a lot of hometown kids want to stay hometown. My thing is I'm going to do whatever's best to help me get to the next level and then get to the pros from there. So if I at some point think that Prolific Prep is that thing for me, then that's where I'll be. If I think staying home is better for me, then that's where I'll be. If I think going across the country to IMG or wherever it is, I'll go wherever I think I'm going to be the best player. So location and all that other stuff has never really mattered to me.
Yeah, I mean, just because you said IMG, I'm not opposed to coming over to Florida. That would be pretty nice for sure. And you said how some coaches ask you like, are you willing to travel over here? I know you have that Xavier offer. I mean, it's not like East Coast, but it's Midwest, so it's not really in your like the region. If that's what they call it. I kind of forgot from third grade, but I think that's in the Midwest. So how were you able to pick up that offer since that school is like not in your area?
It was great. their assistant coach, Coach Johnson, him and he talked to Ryan about me, and then he started texting me. And it was actually one of the first things. I believe one of the first things that they said was, are you comfortable, making this move out here? And there have been other schools too. George Washington was one of them that was like, are you going to be comfortable if you were to come out to the East Coast? And I told him, I said, I'll go anywhere to play if I think it's the best place for me. So it was really good. I had a good dialogue with their assistant coach and then their head coach. And then we had a Zoom call. And, they went through just kind of like about the program, about the city, about the culture, about the school. And about halfway through or towards the end, 3/4 of the way through, they said, we want to make you an official offer. And, it's always a great feeling when you get those words coming out of a head coach, because, it's kind of like an accomplishment in a way, that someone is recognizing your game and someone that has basketball knowledge, such as Xavier's head coach or whatever school it is head coach. So that was definitely something that meant a lot to me. And it was, I think, it was my first school outside of the West Coast. I may be incorrect about that, but I think it was. So
Yeah. I think so too. And I don't know if you mentioned it, I wasn't paying attention, but like how did they hear about you?
They just saw some clips. I'm not exactly sure how they saw the clips, but they saw some clips, and then I think they watched me on some film, like broadcasting some of my games, and I talked to Ryan, and then my high school coach sent him some clips of the season. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's tougher with quarantine. A lot of coaches have been like, we just want to see you play one more time, or we want to come out and have you come to campus, and can't really do any of that right now, which is tough. But I mean, obviously, coaches are finding ways to get around that, as well as players.
And just overall, how has that recruitment process been going for you?
I like it. It kind of gets overwhelming. You get a lot of coaches calling you at different times of the day. You have to respond to all the texts, and I don't mind it. But it's definitely something that I don't think a lot of people realize. It's not always, just great calls and, all that like great stuff. Recruiting process is definitely something that's a little stressful. But I like it a lot. And, I've got to talk to some really good coaches and, hear about some really good schools. So that's definitely been something that I have liked.
Yeah, it does sound awesome for sure. And which schools have been contacting you? Which schools have been contacting you the most? Just out of the ones that have offered so far.
Cal has definitely been in contact a lot. St. Mary's has been in contact a lot. Xavier has been in contact a lot. Let me think who else has been. George Washington has talked a lot. Stanford. I know there's a couple more in there that I'm forgetting, like USC, UCLA. Talk to them. But those are kind of the main schools right now that I can just think of from the top of my head.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So wait, has George Washington offered you? I forgot if they have or not.
I've not, no. They've like talked to me a bunch about it, and they're one of the schools that's just like, we want to see you play a couple more
Oh
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just wondering, like how does George Washington hear about you? I mean, that's literally the opposite side of the country. Like, how do they have any idea who you are?
I think it was something Ryan told me, and this is what a lot of kids, they'll ask me, how do you get looked at? How do you get recruited? How can I do this? And I really think it's true. If you're good, people will find you. And I think I was good enough for those schools or whatever. And I think that, they find ways to find you. I had no part in it. I just get a text or a call, or someone tells me that they want to reach out and talk to me. That's kind of how it goes for me. I'm sure Ryan has to deal with a little bit more of that. But I really just get texts and calls and lock him into my phone, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, but like you've never wondered, like, why does this guy, maybe he's ranked higher, even though rankings don't matter, like, why is this guy ranked higher than me? Only have offers, from every school, in the, western region of the country, and somehow, GW in DC like heard about me. Like, that's never really crossed their mind. Like, that's a super, and they're not a school, like, there's some schools like that offer like pretty much everybody around the country. George Washington's not one of them, so that's why I think it's really interesting.
I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I like to think of myself as a solid student. That might be something that
Yeah,
that
I
helps
was
out.
going to say, because you said Stanford too, so I really had to have something to relate to each other for.
Yeah, so I mean, it might be something with that. And I think it really just credits Ryan Silver. I really think he's the best at what he does. He gets kids scholarship offers, he gets kids recruited. Um, and I think, he's been a huge help for me and my family. I mean, he got my brother recruited and he helped him with that, helped him go through the recruiting process. And now he's at Northern Arizona. And now he's doing the same for me, and he's helping me through the ranks and figuring out what schools are this, what schools are that, what is like what you should be looking for in schools and stuff like that.
And how's your brother? Is he even helping you a lot through the recruiting process as well, or not so much? Just since I think is he at Northern Arizona?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess since he's playing at I think that's Division 1, right? Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Obviously he's playing a Division 1 school. So I'm sure he kind of has a lot to handle as well. But has he been helping you a lot throughout all this?
I would definitely say we just talk, like if I want to talk to someone about a different school or about some new news, I call him. Because I don't like to, I wouldn't say like obviously I'll do interviews, but I don't like to like, publicly discuss how I feel about different schools all the time. Just because that stuff can kind of just get messed up, and then some people say, oh well, now he likes this school more than this school. So, but with him, I can tell him anything, and it's not like he's gonna go talk to a bunch of people about it. So if I ever have any questions for him, or even if I just want to like tell him what I'm thinking about my schools, I always just call him, and he'll answer, and he'll give me some advice or something that I should just think about. So yeah.
And for my next question, I could have said that, I'm not going to ask, this is the favorite school that's offered you, even though I would never ask that before, but a school like Arizona, I think I've heard them, be called a blue blood, a few times. So it's obviously a really big deal. Just how did it feel knowing, that they offered you? I think that there might have been like, that there wasn't one of like your first, but I mean, that one came kind of early, which I mean, a top school like that, just how did that feel knowing, I'm one of these top players, I have blue bloods interested in me and all that stuff?
Arizona was really cool, and I don't think I really realized how awesome it was until I went there for the red and blue game. And that was Nico and Josh's freshman year. Was this year, or this past year. And when I went there and it was sold out for a scrimmage between the team, and they had a dunk contest and all that, that's when you kind of really realize the differences in the atmospheres between, those blue blood schools and, maybe some mid-major or high majors that don't have those type of crowds. So seeing that was definitely a huge eye opener, and, getting to look around the facilities and seeing the locker room and stuff. That was really something that I liked a lot.
Yeah, it definitely is unbelievable. And I think did Josh Green, did he play for West Coast Elite too?
Josh and Nico, I talked to them a lot, especially
Yeah.
Nico. Nico's a point guard just like me, and I came into the West Coast Elite program. I want to say, yeah, I think I was a freshman when he was a senior. So I watched him play, and I talked to him a lot anyway. And whenever I'm out in Arizona, I'll go out there and we'll hang out, we'll talk. And he's been also really helpful with the recruiting process, just kind of helping me sort through it.
Oh, so are you and him like, I'm not like good friends, but like you guys, are friends, I guess?
Yeah, we're definitely pretty close. Like we talk a lot about different stuff. I talked to him about like his pre-draft process and stuff like that. So me and him have definitely built a pretty good relationship. I would definitely say that's like a big brother to me. So yeah.
And even for me, when I'm talking to guys like you realize like they are normal people, but I don't know, I'm somehow able to like reflect and realize like, I mean, these people, I tell my friends like, like you're gonna be watching TV soon. I'm like, hey, I know this guy. Have you ever kind of like reflected like, Nico Mannion probably gonna go to the NBA, maybe even like a super high draft pick. I know him, I can consider him a friend. Have you ever realized just like how crazy that all is?
Yeah, when I first when I first saw him play or whatever, and I first met him, and this was like his 16th year when he was the Red Mamba or whatever, and it was a big deal. It's kind of like, you're a little guy looking up at him. And it was really cool. And then, once you get to meet him and you get to talk to him, he's just another guy, he's a really fun guy, really, really relaxed guy who's always really, I think he's just a really good person. So yeah.
Yeah, actually, guys, when I was I think it was my freshman year, I think. So I just got Snapchat. I couldn't add anyone from my school. I could only add like my sleepaway camp friends. But I added, like my mom can't say like, oh, you can't, it's celebrities. I was able to get Nico and Josh Like I didn't like beg them or anything like that. I just added them and they just accepted or something like that. Or it never had like the pending and just like let it go immediately. And I spoke to both of them actually. Those were not some good conversations, but it's pretty funny like looking back on it. Like I think I asked him, I'm like, oh, so are you good friends with Josh Green? And he's like left me on scene or something. I don't know. It was just it was pretty funny though. Like I was pretty hyped when that happened. I was like screaming like Nico Mannion saw my snap. Like
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty crazy for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean it's crazy. You should see. I think he has two phones now because he has one for friends, like close friends, and then he has one for everyone else. You know, because I mean, when you get to that status, you have so many people texting you, calling you. You have, and then you have business people, like you have GMs on your phone and stuff like that. So I think it's really crazy for guys like that, who are like high school, college celebrities on. And I think that's kind of what you see now with the social media era that we're in now is you see kids, I see like 6th, 7th graders that are getting blown up on Instagram. And, and I just think that's like insane to me. But I think that social media has definitely done good by that. You know, like I think they put the spotlight on kids that are really good at basketball or really good at other things. So yeah.
I mean, also, they have kind of put the spotlight on a few kids that aren't, as good. But I just want to know for like a day because I almost like, having like, obviously I don't have like too big of a following, but and I want to grow, even more. But I would say like, I don't even know if I want to get, that 100K or something like that because I don't know how it works. Like, do you like see like when you get a DM or because I mean, like I'm talking to some people that, pretty big in the industry on Instagram, but like if I'm going to be, just as famous as them, like I'm not going to get the alert. Like, I just want to know, like, if you have, if you're verified or how do the likes work? Like, do you see like the 500,000 likes you get? Like, that's something I really want to know.
No, yeah, definitely. I wish I was the guy to talk to about that, but I'm not there yet. But I mean, it's definitely something that would be cool. At the end of the day, it's not a big thing for me just as a basketball player, but it definitely, I'm sure it is really cool to get all those likes and DMs and comments and all that. It's something that just like kind of brings up the kid side of you almost. So yeah.
Actually, you're saying that, but I remember because I kind of look, I look at everyone's Instagram feed, like preparing myself for the interview, see if there's anything interesting. I saw like you have a few things like this, like 32.1 thousand views. I mean, 25.3, 21.1. So I like just look. I mean, what happened to your phone during that? Like, were you getting like a ton of did everything like buzz through, or because that kind of answers the question for itself. Like, you have experienced that in a way.
Yeah. That's kind of the point where you kind of just turn off your phone. Honestly, my phone, I don't do really notifications anymore, like on my lock screen, because you get likes at random times, and it's just like whatever. But for me, I don't know. I kind of just turn off my phone and go hang out with friends and get off it, just because you can kind of get consumed in it if you keep looking at it. So I turn off my phone, I put it away, and I'll pick it up an hour or two later when the crazy likes and comments and all that and views is all over. So yeah.
So when that does happen, like it does give you an alert for every single like, pretty much.
It does. If you go on Instagram, it shows it. And if you have your notifications up, I believe it does. I turned mine off pretty like a while ago once I started to realize that. And I don't know. It's just too much popping up on the screen for a.
I think it just glitched again, guys. But hold on a second. Luckily, we made it to the end of the interview. We were just getting a few like questions in. Um, but yeah, hold on. We'll see what happens. All right. Yeah, he just left. It's all good. All right. Let's wait for this thing to. Hold on. Should be in here. One second. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna give this thing a go. Let's see how this looks. Oh yeah, it's kind of loading. I'm gonna remove myself from the stream as well. I'll wait and see what happens. All right, guys. So he just let me know that I think it's having a little bit of an issues. So just stay tuned. Actually, oh wait, it just worked. Oh,
There we
all
go.
right.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we were making it. Like, we were literally almost done anyway, so we could have just there. But I forgot what you were talking about. But I guess something you said earlier about like how it's like big brother, not like big brother little brother kind of thing. Like you're looking up to guys like Nico May and guys like Josh Green. What's it like seeing them go through the West Coast Elite program, and now you're at that level as well?
I think it just like it attracts better players. You see guys like Nico, who's a guard just like me, and succeed in the West Coast Elite program, and I think that's something you want to see. Is you want to see guys that are somewhat alike that have had success in that situation. So seeing Nico do it was
Oh,
definitely.
wait, hold on. I'm so sorry. Wait, hold on. So I have to see something. I think my school might have got canceled. Wait. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'm gonna be so happy.
Good.
Hold on. I'm so sorry. Oh
You're
my God. Yes. Oh yes. Okay. Sorry. I'm so happy right now.
You're good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's like I don't know if you can hear the rain. Like there's like a tropical storm about to hit us.
No, there you go.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I am so sorry. All right. Okay. You can continue on.
Don't even worry about it. But yeah, I just think that when you see guys that are like you succeed in that position, it's something that you like. So yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is super cool. And you said it a ton during the interview, about Coach Ryan Silver and everything he's done and West Coast Elite. But just sum it up, what has West Coast Elite done for you and your basketball career so far?
West Coast Elite has put me on a platform to where I can succeed. I feel like I grew up and I put in the work and I did the time. And when I was ready for high school ball, West Coast Elite was right there. And I think West Coast Elite is a family. People don't really realize it. And people say that a lot. But, some of my best friends are on my team. Like Austin Johnson is literally my brother right there. And he's on my team. You got guys like, I think Trey Knight was on here before. I've been playing with Trey
Yep.
since I was a little kid and playing against Trey. I played against Trey when I was in second grade, and I've been playing with and against him since. You have so many guys on those teams that are big-time players that you kind of grew up with or that you now know from West Coast Elite. And, the coaches are huge because they don't care. A lot of them don't really care about basketball in the sense of, like, obviously they care about it, but they care about you as a person. And I think that that's something that a lot of places don't have. They just want you to do this on the court and do that. And I have coaches calling me, just checking up on me, checking up on how I'm doing, checking up on how my family's doing. And that's something that I don't think you get at a lot of programs. And that's something that separates West Coast Elite from everyone else for me.
Yeah, that definitely is awesome. And before we end the show, I got one more question for you. And I just want to know, I mean, what are some of your goals for life?
My goals for life. I'll start it off with I want to be happy, I think a lot of people, especially myself, like I think I do this too. I don't get asked that question a lot. It's always, what are your goals for basketball? And obviously I want to be able to go to a really good college, and then I want to be able to go to the NBA. But after, I really want to do something meaningful with my life. There's so much stuff going on right now. You see with the presidential election or with racial injustices. And I want to do something meaningful with my life, whether it has to do with sports or whether it doesn't. That's something that's always been really big for me and my family, is doing the right thing and helping out people. So I don't know exactly if I have like a specific job career I want to do after playing basketball, but I definitely want to make a big difference in ways to help people. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You said you don't get that question asked about a lot. Or you said you don't get that question asked a lot. But didn't you do his interview with Zach Shoemaker before?
I did, and I believe
he definitely asked you that. Like I didn't take the question away from him. Like I didn't like copy it from him because I did an interview like with a player before I found out about him, and like I asked like a question like that. But I know because he's like the GOAT for now. So I always like watch his stuff sometimes, kind of take some notes, like what I could do to take away from him. And he usually says like, something, but what do you want your legacy to be like once you step, or like once you get off the court or something like that? So
yeah,
did he ask that?
I think he did. The legacy thing sounds way more familiar. I just think you know, a lot of these reporters I think like you and Zach are obviously different in the sense that, like, I mean, you're asking regular questions about life, and I think Zach sometimes does the same. But it's just like, you know, a lot of these, like, you get a lot more reporters that are just, you know, how was the game, how was this, all about basketball. You get very few people in the reporting and like interviewing business, I guess, that actually ask you about life and school or outside of school activities. So I think like I don't know. I think like in my total of interviews, I bet you and Zach and maybe one other person are the only two that have ever asked me about that stuff, which is just, I mean, it's just a different side of interviewing. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people just care about only the basketball side or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's more to everyone than just the basketball side. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a lot of guys, like Zach and I out there. I mean, well, at least I'm hoping there's not. Like, I'm hoping I'm one of like three, but I feel like the people. I'm just gonna assume like the other interviews you had, where they don't really talk about that stuff. I'm sure it's because it's like a big like name brand company, that probably everyone in the nation knows of. So they're not gonna put in an article like, oh, he went to Rolling Loud, or like no, like the people, like if it's ESPN interviewing someone and it's not for that kind of content, it's more just like strictly business content. I mean, they're not going to ask for stuff that's not as important. So it's not really. I wouldn't even consider myself in the same business probably as some of those people, just because I'm a kid. Like, obviously, have a lot more time on my hands. Not a big company where we just got to go like doing a ton of stuff every day where it needs to be like quick and all that stuff. So I think it's almost like two different fields. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
Yeah, and anyways, this is actually one of my I don't say better interviews. Like a lot of the people are pretty good on this stuff, but this is probably one of the longer ones I had in a while. But before we get in the show, is there anything you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
I mean, obviously, I want to shout out my family, and my friends. I think people don't realize how important friends are in recruiting process in basketball. So definitely shout out to family and friends, and Ryan Silver, of course, for helping me through the recruiting process. And then I think just I don't think you can ever say enough about racial injustice, which is happening in our country far too often. So I don't think a lot of people know about me, but my mom is half black. So her side of the family is black, and they actually live in Tampa. But it's just like I think a lot of people see me and they hear me talk about it, and I'm just some white kid who has privilege and stuff, and I mean I do have privilege, and I can acknowledge that. I think that's a fact. And I think people don't really, especially in my area, people don't take it very seriously. I'm in a predominantly white neighborhood area, city, and I think people kind of don't take stuff for granted, and I've tried my best not to. And I think what people don't realize is it's not a social media trend. It's not BLM hashtag every once in a while. It's something that African American and Black people have to live with every day of their life. So that's something that's really important to me. I think our country's really divided right now, and I don't want to get into too much of that.
Yeah.
But I just think I think that people need to shine more light on that, and I've tried to do that, say something about it in all my interviews, and just saying like there needs to be change. And I think we're working on it. But I definitely think that there's far, far, far more change that needs to be done.
Yeah, and it's not funny that you said that. It was kind of coincidental because the guy I'm actually gonna post today, I think I'm starting to just post like one clip now. Like the clip I think is like pretty resembled the interview. I think he goes to Pace Academy in Georgia, with Matthew Cleveland and all that stuff. It's not Matthew Cleveland. That would have been really cool, but he I think he's like in charge of the Black Student Union or something like that. And he like kind of like picked up the club and stuff like that. So I might post that but also like I don't want to get too political, but I just think being an athlete, like a basketball player, like whatever sport, because a lot of people, like I live in a community too. Well, it's actually mostly Hispanic people, but a lot of wealth, a lot of very nice lifestyles like around my area, and where I live. And I feel like just because of basketball and like what I do as well. I mean, we've gone, all over town. We go to, some of the dirtiest schools. I remember I was like scared to go to the bathroom one time. Like this bathroom I went in was disgusting. Like we've seen a lot more than most people do, and that's kind of like why we kind of get it more. But I guess it's because some people, like, they don't have exposure. Like where I live, like I feel like I live in a bubble. I don't know if you do, and like it really does feel that way. Once you kind of get out of town, like doesn't matter if it's another nice area, like you could just tell like you're not in where I live anymore. So I just think just being an athlete and like what I do, just because we get so much exposure to the world around us, like we kind of get it a lot more than most people.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree with the bubble part too. That's definitely something that goes on in my area. And I think just, being an athlete, you have to use your platform to raise awareness on stuff like that. And, I don't really, I couldn't care less if people, don't like me for what I say about that, or like, they just want me to play basketball and that's all they care about and that's all they want to hear about. That's really not important to me at all. What matters to me is, I want to say the right stuff and I want to voice how I feel about certain issues. So definitely, yeah.
And I'm sorry, I actually have a question. Like, I'm actually curious to hear about this. Because you see a ton of famous guys, post like, just like ride solo, like vibe with yourself, do all that stuff. Like, people like backstabbing, like all that stuff with like friends. But you said like you think friends are important. I mean, even for myself, ever since I started doing this, like literally right before I was like hanging out with like friends, like every night, and then all of a sudden I started doing this, and I'm like, all right, but and they kind of got in a fight anyways. I wasn't really into because somehow I never get into the drama. I'm always like the guy everyone likes, luckily. But so that kind of ended it anyways, coincidentally. But I mean, I really like I used to FaceTime my friends on the weekends. Like now, I really talk to my friends. Like I don't have any bad blood with my friends. Like I see my friends, I'm gonna talk to them. Like I love my friends, but I've kind of made sure I like focus, mind on the grind and all that stuff. But you're saying how you think friends are important. Can you maybe like I don't know a little bit more because there's so many guys that are famous and celebrities where they always say like you just ride solo and all that stuff. So why do you think friends are so important?
Yeah, I don't want to, I don't know if that's you or if that's other people that will watch this. I'm a firm believer in the don't ride solo. I think when you ride solo, it just when you're with people.
Or I say I don't think it's not ride solo, but maybe like you kind of take a team. It's more like a tight circle kind of thing. Like you see like celebrities, once they kind of get to the NBA, they only follow like 80 people, and those are their 80 closest friends, and that's kind of it. Like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And I agree with that. I just think that everything's better when you have people to share it with. That comes with teammates, that comes with friends, it comes with family. And for me, I mean, my friends for me are just an outlet. I think basketball, if you're doing it day in and day out, and I've been doing it day in and day out multiple times a day for years now. So, just hanging out with friends, feeling, just like a regular guy is something that I value a lot. My friends mean a lot to me. They're always there for me, and they're not. I think what's great about my friends is they don't care. They don't care if I go out and drop 40 points, or if I have a bad game, or if I play really well. They care about me. Like as a person. Like the basketball stuff's cool. I'm sure that they, it's cool that like they know that I'm like good at basketball or whatever, but I don't think they really care about that. And that's something that I feel like when you get higher up in levels of basketball, people kind of just care about you for the basketball player. And for me, my friends have never ever been that way. They're always there for me as Aidan Mahaney, the person that goes to school with them every day, the person that hangs out with them every day, the person that plays like 2K with them every day. It has nothing to do with basketball, our relationship. So, I mean, friends are something that I value a lot, a lot, a lot. I can't stress that enough. So yeah.
But would you say because I guess people say like watch out like who you're with. Like do you maybe like are you maybe stop like not being social like obviously like hang out with your friends, but are you maybe not trying to like meet any new people? I guess in a way.
I just think you have to be smart. You have to, you find it. Like I wouldn't say I have like an abundant, like crazy amount of friends. I have my really close friends, and then you have people that you're cool with. That's kind of how I do it. you know uh there's certain things that you just don't share with everyone that you share with your close friends, and I definitely think that the tight circle is something that I have. It's not like I'm friends with people from all over. I'm friends with the people that go to my school. I'm friends with a lot of the guys in my grade that play football or whatever. Like I definitely think that keeping a tight circle is something that's super important, especially when you get into basketball and people try to like take things from you, or not take things but use you to help them. So that's kind of how I thought about with friends.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess in the end, like you're more like tight circle, but not like solo, I guess.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say tight circle of friends, but I would definitely say I'm a social person. I'll talk to anyone. Doesn't mean that I'll let them in on all my college or, just like stuff that's happening in my life, but I'll talk to anyone. It's never been me to, be like shy or kind of hold things into myself.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, appreciate you for coming on, man. It really means a lot. Definitely got a ton out of this interview. Anyways, make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram at Aidan Mahaney. No spaces, no dots, so just straight up name, all lowercase letters. At iHoopsFL. And anyways, for 2022 or for 6'3", 2022 point guard at Campo Lindo. Is that how you say it? Campo Lindo High School?
Yep.
All right. At Campo Lindo High School, Aidan Mahaney. I'm Isaac Fleischer, and this has been another iHoopsFL interview. Peace out, guys.